Hello everyone. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to factor quadratic expressions when a is equal to 1. I'm referring here to a as a leading coefficient, the number in front of x squared. Okay, so this is an expression because there's no equal sign, and I didn't name this expression, so it's just a quadratic expression. What do I call it? Quadratic expression because this expression can be written in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, right? The highest exponent of the variable x is 2, okay? However, it's not written in standard form. So standard form means you always want to set the highest exponent to the lowest, okay? So for this, so you have to rewrite the first step to solve quadratic expression. You must rewrite it in standard form. Okay, you have to write standard form means this way. This is in standard form. Okay, it has to be written as the term with the highest exponent, with the exponent of 2 comes first. The constant, the number by itself, comes last, and the middle term, the term with the x, is in the middle of the two terms. So if I want to write this in standard form, I'm going to start with x squared, okay, plus 6x plus 8. Okay, so now it's written in standard form. The exponent of 2, 1, and 0 on the x. Okay, so let's continue. So now step 2, what I want you to do is you're going to look at two things. Okay, so you want to find two numbers but add to the middle term, which is 6. Okay, find two terms but add to the middle term, which is 6 here. And over here the sign is positive 6. Okay, so that's the number for B. Okay, B refer to the middle terms. Now, what is AC? AC represent to the leading coefficient, the number in front of the leading term, okay, which is x squared. What is the number in front of x squared if you don't see it? It's not 0, okay, it's 1. So you're going to take 1 times the C, the constant, the number by itself, which is positive 8. Okay, so and again, you want to find two numbers but add 2. So multiply to 8. Why? 1 times 8 is 8. It's always going to be 8 times C. It's never C. It's always 8 times C. For this example, A is 1. Okay, you do, which is 1 times positive 8, and that's the number you write here. Okay, so when A is 1, that's why it looks like the number that goes here is always C, the constant. Okay, which is 8, but it's always do 1 times 8. Okay, 8 times C. 8 times C, 8 times C, 8 times C. So now let's continue. So you have to think of two numbers. When you multiply together, you get 8, and when you add, you get 6. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to list the factor. Always start with the factor, never with the sum, the number for the sum. Always the number for the factors. So okay, so start with 8. So what are the factors of 8? I know the factor of 8 are 1 and 8. Okay, so now when I do 1 times 8 is 8, right? But when I add them, I get 9, but I need 6. Okay, so it cannot be the number 1 and 8. The two numbers cannot be 1 and 8. It doesn't work. So now, can you think of two over factors or numbers? When you multiply together, we get 8. And when you add them, you get 6. Okay, so I'm thinking maybe let's try 2 and 4. Okay, so 2 times 4, no, 2 times 4 is positive 8, check. So let's add them up. So 2 plus 4 is 6. So it does work. So I found that the two numbers that works here are going to be the number 2 and the number 2 and 4. 2 and 4. Okay, so what do we do after we found the two numbers? So the next step here, you're going to, let me rewind the, so what you want to do next is you're going to rewrite the quadratic expression, okay, by replacing the middle term. So basically you're going to replace the 6x with the two found numbers. So you're going to write 2 is positive, so you're going to write 2. But because you're replacing, so you make sure you include the x by the 2x, okay? And the 4 is positive, I'm going to add 4x. Okay, and then I'm going to bring down the 8. So positive 8 plus 8. So sorry, what is okay? So what is happening here? Sorry. So what is happening? Okay, so here, if you notice, um, if I want to go backward, x squared, 8 is 8. 2x plus 4x is 6x. Okay, that's why you have to include the x after, next to the two new found numbers. Okay, so all we are doing is you're trying to rewrite it, okay, so it's easy to factor, okay? So I'm going to show you two ways to factor this. So you remember step one, let me summarize what you've done so far. So step one, okay, we wrote the quadratic expression in standard form. So ax squared plus bx plus c, okay? Then we found two numbers that add to the middle term, which is positive 6. And two numbers, the same two numbers must add up to a times c, which is 8. And you found those two numbers to be 2 and 4. Okay, after finding the two new numbers, you use the two numbers to replace the middle terms. The 6x can be written now with the 2 4 number, which is 2x and 4x. Okay, so now what is the next step? I'm going to show you the next step is by grouping. Okay, what does grouping mean? So I'm going to group let me rewrite that here. So this is the method by grouping. Okay, so grouping, I'm going to rewrite the quadratic expressions. So by grouping, I'm going to group the left two terms together and the right two terms together. Okay, since 4x is positive, it doesn't matter to put the plus. Okay, so 4x is positive, so you put the parentheses in front. But if 4x was negative, make sure that the negative come inside the parentheses. Okay, so now what you're going to do next, okay, you're going to factor out the common factor in the left, the group in the left, as well as the group in the right. So if you notice here, you're going to ask yourself, okay, what term is repeating in both? If you don't see it, you'll see that x squared can be written as x times x, and then 2x is just 2 times x. Okay, what number is repeated in both? What number do you see in both terms? In x times x, and 2x. Okay, it cannot be 2 because 2 is not in the first, in x times x, in x squared. So it has to be x. So x, you see one x here, another one right here. Okay, so you're going to pull this out. And what is going to be left over? So the leftover is going to be x and 2. So you write x and 2, the leftover terms. So you write the leftover term inside the parentheses. So those are the two factors on the left. Okay, so that's what I'm going to write here. So you have x times x plus 2, and you can check by distributing x times by multiplying. So x times x, x squared, x times positive 2, 2x. Okay, so you're going to do the same on the right side. So on the right, you have plus 4x plus 8. Okay, so can you see the common factor repeated in both? 4x and plus 8. So is it possible to write 8 as a factor of 4? Yes, you can write 8 as 4, what? 4 times 2. So now, what number do you see in both terms? I hope you can see that it's a 4. So you're going to pull out the 4 outside. What are you going to write inside the parentheses? The leftover terms, which are x and 2. So x plus 2. Okay, so you have x plus 2. So you're going to write, so I'm going to write it 4 times x plus 2. So when you do factor by grouping, okay, the left two terms must be the same. The factor on the left, which is x plus 2, and the factor on the right, which is x plus 2, must be the same. Okay, the factor in the parentheses must match. Okay, if they're not matching, you did something wrong. So now I'm going to keep on factoring. So I'm going to pull out x plus 2 outside, right? You have to continue factoring until the end, times what is going to be the leftover terms. The leftover term is x and positive 4, and then you're going to write that here. You're going to write x plus positive 4, and that's your final answer. Okay, Or if you want, you could also written x plus 4 times x plus 2. Why? Because multiplication is commutative. Okay, okay, 2 times 5 is 10, as well as 5 times 2 is also 10. The order does not matter with factors. Okay, so this is by grouping. So I'm going to show you the next way for with the box method. Okay, so we are doing the box method. So we wrote a quadratic expression with the 4 terms. Then you're going to fill in the box. Okay, so the x square is always going to be right here. Always, always true. Okay, and then the 8, the constant, the last term, always going to be at the bottom right box. Okay, so you write x squared here and then 8. So now the two empty box diagonally, you can either write 2x or 4x. But I'm just going to write 2x here and then 4x. But if you want, you can switch the orders. You could have write 2x over here and then 4x right here. So next, you're going to pull out the common factor, the greatest common factor for each rows. The first one is x. The second one is 4. Okay. Now for the column, the greatest common factor, the factor you see in both terms, is going to be x. Okay. And then here is going to be 2. Okay. So let's multiply. X times x is x squared. X times 2, 2x. 4 times x, 4x. 2 times 2, 8. So the factor is what going to be whatever is on the outside, on the edges, on the sides. So the factor is x plus 4. Why? Because 4 is positive, so you write x plus 4 times then x plus 2. Why? The 2 is positive, so you write plus 2. So this is your final answer. Okay? So thank you for watching my video. So I just want to summarize what you have done so far. So the first step, we write the expression in standard form. We found two numbers that add to 6 and two numbers that multiply to 8 times c, which is 8. And then you use those two numbers to replace the middle term with. So you got a quadratic expression made of 4 terms. You can now choose to use the method by grouping or the method or use the box method to factor your quadratic expression. Okay, so thank you for watching my videos. Bye bye.